Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, January 29th, and welcome back to the Nick Watkins Show. I'm Nick Watkins. Let's get into it. We got a couple things to talk about today. We're going to go two basketball, one hockey. We're going to start with the two basketball ones. We're going to start with the game from last night. That'll be first. So the Warriors won last night, 140 to 124 against the Utah Jazz. I said yesterday that this is the type of game that you have to win. You can't take the opponent lightly because these are the games that are really important. The quote unquote free wins. And obviously, no disrespect to the Jazz or any team like them, but the reality of the situation is we need these wins badly to stay alive. And we got one in a good way, scored 140 points last night, which is a great amount. We scored 39 points in the fourth quarter when a lot of the starters were out at that point. And that's another good part of this is that the starters, Steph, Dre, Moses Moody, they they all played under 30 minutes. Steph had 28, Moses had 26, Pods had 28. So because we got ahead so early and we put it away, the starters could rest up, which is great, especially at this point in the year. I mean, we know we have the All-Star break coming up, but we still have to get there. And it's great that we're going to get a little bit healthier there in that aspect. So Moses Moody, 26 points in 26 minutes. Pods, 11, 8, and 7 in 28 minutes. He was plus 16. That's pretty good. Steph, 27 points in 28 minutes. Didn't necessarily shoot the three ball that well, but he had 10 free throws attempted in this game. Made 9 of them. That's a good sign. Will Richard had 13 and Buddy 13. Guy Santos had 16. Just a good team effort, especially in the offensive side all across the lineup. Good performance from the Dubs last night, and that is it's a good win. So since Jimmy Butler has gone down, we are 2-3 with wins against the Timberwolves and the Jazz. You'd like to get a little bit more wins, but we still are just 2 games back of the Suns in for the 7th seed, and then for the 9th seed, the Blazers, you're 4.5 games up on them. So you have a little bit of a cushion behind us. There's definitely more space behind us than there is in front of us, and that's a good place to be, even if it is at the 8th seed. So good win for the Warriors last night. We're just going to stay on the Warriors, whose next game are against the Pistons on Friday. That would be tomorrow. But we're not going to talk about that game. Um, we're going to talk about Giannis again because that is a massive, massive deal, a massive story. Giannis Antetokounmpo is most likely going to be traded from the Milwaukee Bucks. The unclear part of it is if it's going to happen before the deadline or if they're going to wait till the offseason. Um, I'm not sure what's the more likely scenario out of those two, but it becomes increasingly likely that he's going to be dealt based on all the reports that are coming out and all the stuff that we're seeing about it. And the Warriors are one of the suitors who are looking to land this great player. Other teams are the Knicks, the Knicks, the Pistons, no, the Knicks, the Heat, and the Timberwolves. Um, let's yeah. So other teams are the Knicks, the Heat, and the Timberwolves. Maybe some other suitors that we don't know about, but the Warriors are definitely involved in it. And while we don't have you know, the most young players, the best young players to offer, we probably have the best picks to offer. And so while other teams can send over a lot of players as opposed to picks, we'd probably be sending over a couple players. Kaminga, definitely, if it were to happen, it would be JK, and then a whole bunch of picks. So, um, and if that were to happen, I feel like I would not mind giving up a ton of picks to get Giannis because while we are being very protective of our picks that are going to happen after Steph Curry retires because that's going to be so important. If we trade those picks for Giannis, the Curry era will end, in the same timeline, but the contending era will continue to stretch because we'll have Giannis. Um, how old is Giannis? He is 31 years old. So, I mean, we're seeing LeBron. LeBron is like 45. Giannis is 31, and they're kind of, I don't know how long Giannis is going to play, but he's dominant right now. He's been dominant for a good while, and the contending window for the Warriors can continue to exist beyond Steph Curry's years if we were to trade for Giannis. So at that point, the picks don't necessarily have the same value that they do right now. Right now, they're super valuable. But if we were to trade them for Giannis, they would have less value, um, obviously, because they wouldn't be ours anymore. But because we'd be contending and they wouldn't mean as much. So it would be great if we could trade for him. If we don't trade for him, it's not the end of the world. Although it might be. It at least for this season, if we don't land Giannis, then the season is over. I mean, we're going to make the playoffs still, but we would not realistically be able to contend. We'd be first round exits, especially if we land in the 8 seed, which looks increasingly likely. That means we draw Oklahoma City in the first round, and barring something crazy, that means our season's going to end in a 4-5 game series. So if we don't land Giannis or a similar a player of his status, which I don't think there are any of those players on the trade market this year, then the season is pretty much over. So it wouldn't be the end of the world long term for next year and the years after that, but it would be beneficial this year and for future years to have Giannis Antetokounmpo. That is obvious. So I say let's get it done, man. Let's trade for Giannis. That would be incredible if we could do that. And I mean, I don't see the downside. The pros heavily outweigh the cons in trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo. So let's see what happens. Hopefully, we can get it done. Um, so that's the Warriors. Now we're going to switch over to our last topic of the day, which are the San Jose Sharks and their game against the Edmonton Oilers tonight. This is a big game for the West, for the Pacific. And, this is a big game for the Sharks. The Oilers are a good team. They're a very good team. They have been to the finals the past 2 years. They've lost the finals the past 2 years. Um, right? Let me just let's double check that. Yeah, so they've lost in the finals the past 2 years to the Panthers each year, and they are still right in the thick of it in the Western Conference. And they're a scary good team, especially on offense. So if you look at the West, the Avs, the Wild, and the Stars. Wow, when did the Wild get? Oh, because they got Hughes. That's why. That's why the. It's like when did the Wild get so good? But it's because they got Hughes. That's why. So we got the Avs, the Wild, and the Stars. That's 1, 2, 3. And then the Golden Knights of Vegas are 4. And then the Oilers are 5. 6 is Utah. And then they've pulled away from the other central teams in the West. And then it's all Pacific teams from there. Ducks and the Sharks are 7, 8, followed closely by the Kings and the Kraken. So this is a massive game for the standings, but it's also a big game in the sense that this is the chance for the Sharks to prove that they can beat um, another good Pacific team, another good West team, and we've done that throughout the year. We've beaten the Ducks, we've beaten the Kings, we've beaten the Wild multiple times. We've beaten the Stars too, and the Mammoth a lot. We've beaten good teams, but this is the first time we're seeing the Oilers, and their strengths are, they are going to capitalize on our weakness, which is the defense. And we are very strong in the offensive end, and we have good, solid goalkeeping. The problem is the defense, and the Edmonton Oilers are an incredibly good offense. They are really, really good. Um, Third in goals per game, fourth in face-off percentage. They are And this is the big stat, and this is what I think is going to be the key to the game tonight. They are first in power play offense. They have 31.8% conversion rate on the power play. They are very, very good at scoring on the power play because they have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, two of the best players in the NHL. One of the, one of, if not the best duos in the NFL. Real 1-2 punch. They're both number ones, but combined it forms an incredible duo. And that's going to be tough to stop. It really is. So I think the key to the game, especially because, you know, we are not slouches on the power play either. We've scored a lot of goals, especially as of late this past month on the power play. We are 16th in power play conversion rate. That's 20.9% conversion rate, which isn't the best. 16 is middle of the pack, like dead middle. And we don't score the most goals, but we are sixth in the league in penalties drawn per game. Meanwhile, the Oilers are down at 19th. So the Oilers don't get as many chances as us, but when they do, they convert on it almost a third of the time. For the Sharks are very good thanks to Macklin Celebrini at drawing penalties and getting power play opportunities. And that's why I think the key to the game today is going to be the power play. Whatever team can, one, draw more penalties, and two, convert on their chances are going to win this game. And that's my prediction because both teams are very successful, on the power play. They are very good at getting chances and converting on them. And against a high-powered offense, and with our relatively high-powered offense, whatever team can capitalize on the man advantage and get those goals on the power play while the other team is shorthanded, that's going to be big. It's going to be crucial to this game. And if we can dominate that aspect of the game, especially the face-offs as well, face-offs whether on the power play or just in general, it'll be good to win face-offs against two great centers. Um, that's going to be big. It's going to be big to get that man advantage and convert on those chances. So it's going to be a great game tonight. Hopefully the Sharks can get a win here. It would be big for us in the standings because the Oilers have 62 points. We have 57. If we were to win this game, then we would get right up 2 points away from them. And we would also climb in the standings over Anaheim and Utah. Yeah, Utah as well, because you'd be tied with them if they don't win tonight. So this is a big chance for us. We have yet to face the Oilers. They're a great team, back-to-back Western Conference champions. So hopefully we can do well in this game, convert on those power play opportunities, and get that dub. One of the last games before the break, I think it's the Oilers, and then Calgary, and then Chicago, and then Colorado. So those are two very good teams, and including the best team in the league, who are just unbelievably good, and they're running away with the points total. And then two so-so teams. So we hopefully, instead of going 2-2, we can 3-1. This game would be big for doing that because Avs are really good. So we got to take advantage of these lesser teams, which is funny because the Oilers are one of the best teams in the league. So it's going to be a tough game tonight. Hopefully we can come out of it with a win, and we're going to talk about tomorrow: win, lose, or draw. I mean, if you can draw, you get a point. But we'd like to win. We want to win these games. These are big games. We'd like to win them. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.